Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of RN Champions, where we speak with registered nurses across this great country and learn about what is going on out there and what different activities and groups and different things that our nurses are doing. I am Rodney G.B. Clements, and I'm your host for RN Champions. With me today, I have Miss Kathryn Watson, and she comes from Boston, Massachusetts. And I'd like to introduce her and tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Kathryn.
Hi, I'm Kathryn Watson. I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse over the last 2 decades. I work for a small community hospital where I work at the bedside. 1 day a week, I teach for a local university, and I have my own legal nurse consulting business where I work with lawyers for deviation of standard of care. And through all that, I started noticing some patterns. And then I came up with the website educationalnurse.com, where I made some courses to help promote from the mastery of NCLEX to the mastery at the bedside.
That's excellent, Miss Watson. So, yes, legal nurse consulting has become popular over the last few years or so. And I know a lot of nurses would like to try to do it, but not many have really been able to
Yeah.
put it into practice. Um, so
It
that's great. You
does
work
take a
with,
while.
uh, yes, right, yes. You work with mostly legal firms and attorneys, right, to help, or do you represent some nurses and help them with that? That's one side. And then you have your educational side,
Yes, I only work with lawyers. I don't really help nurses. I do in my
right?
course recommend that nurses have their own malpractice insurance to protect themselves. Some of those questions have come up, how, like if they have issues. So I kind of work through them with that from the experience of working with lawyers. I work with a few of them throughout different states, and they send me cases. I work on defense and plaintiff, so I have to be unbiased on both sides to see where the standard of care was missed or followed.
That's great. And now tell us about your educational component. There's always a demand for education and training, especially in medicine and the nursing world. So, what type of courses do you offer, tell us where they can find it?
So they can go to educationalnurse.com. There is one main course that I made called the New Nurse Navigator. It's from the NCLEX to the bedside mastery, that it just helps you a stepping stone for new nurses who need help transitioning from academia into real life practical hands-on experience. Then I have a small course that is for mindfulness, so it's called Nurse Harmony. So it's to elevate your career to help you have like balance and peace within your career. And then the last one I have is licensed defense through documentation, which I lead as a nurse documentation expert to help nurses protect their license.
Wow, that is great. So, you develop these courses, and are they mostly for registered nurses or students? I guess mostly they're already nurses, right?
They're already nurses, but I feel like if you're close to getting your NCLEX, that date that you need to pass your boards, and I'm always happy when the nurses do. But yeah, they can get on this because I offer weekly 30-minute discussions. So as they're self-paced through these courses, they can come into our community and ask any questions they want. And then I kind of answer them through the 30-minute weekly, and they are recorded, so if they're not able to make it, they can still get their questions answered.
Wow, that's great. So you develop these courses, and do you offer CEUs with some of them, or what?
Yes, that's
And
the
this is at
plan. I am actually,
educationalnurse.com.
yes, that's the plan. I'm in the process of it. It is a few things because you have to have so many accreditations that you need. So yes,
Uh-huh.
once they complete that, they will get CEUs.
Wow, that's great. So you just as a nurse for many years in different settings just saw the demand for this, which obviously is great, and put together these
Yeah,
courses, and now you're helping a lot of nurses do that. That's excellent. Yes, um,
yes.
we'll have to. So I'll have to connect with you offline too, because there's a number of resources and people that probably be interested in what you're offering. Uh, what else?
Oh,
Um,
wonderful.
what else do you want to add or say about what you're doing, or any other information you'd like to bread.
It's just, I just want nurses to know that they're not alone. COVID, I feel, has messed up nurses in general. And schools, when they took them out of like the clinical setting of being at the bedside and then coming back after COVID, there seems to be a big miss somewhere that I noticed
Mhm.
patterns. And I noticed patterns when I was teaching at the bedside, noticed patterns at my job and working, and having all these new nurses coming to me and asking questions. And then a lot of them were like, I wish I knew this, I wish I knew that. So this kind of inspired me to just put everything together to help support them. Especially mindfulness and meditation and self-care is a big miss. Like we do a lot of stuff, but like find patterns of how we can help alleviate some of the stress from work. Like we come home and we just want to zen, but sometimes the day can still be with us from the experiences that we had from our shift. So I have tactics that help nurses just kind of put their mind and have the balance between work and life.
That's excellent. To incorporate meditation more into, everybody needs some of that to calm your mind. Your mind's always racing, right? The monkey brain, all
Yes.
that, right? Well,
Yes.
that's excellent, Miss Watson. I really appreciate you joining us on RN Champions this week. We best wish you the best of luck. You can go to Daily News
Thank you for
Network
having me.
to find more information on her and educationalnurse.com. Thank you again, and see you next week.